Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danielle. This is Intro to NGPF. We will get started in just about a minute or two. We'll wait for everyone who signed up for this webinar and give them a chance to get logged in and on their laptops. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said before, my name is Danielle. Thank you for joining me today for this Intro to NGPF webinar. If you do have any questions, feel free to type them in the question box and I will address them when I can. All right, so whether you're preparing your students for their college or career, we'd like to help you through their journey of setting them up for financial success. A little bit of a shout out to the teachers here. Thank you all out there for making sure your students are prepared for the real world. We really appreciate your commitment to the students and we like to help you along the way. So a little bit about us. A few years ago, founder Tim Ranzetta was asked to teach a class at a local high school. Like many educators who comb the internet for resources, his first inclination was to do a quick Google search for some ready-made resources that he could use to teach the next day. That quick Google search, quote unquote, quickly turned into a data tsunami, and Tim found himself deep in a rabbit hole. There was already so many great resources, and he found that the more choices he had, the less inclined he was to actually choose one. For example, a quick Google search on credit card lessons renders over 25 million results. Like I mentioned, these are all such great resources. There are just too many, and Tim wanted to find a way to give teachers back their time. And he wanted to actually create NGPF to give educators an alternative to Google, a one-stop shop, if you will. Over the next couple of slides, I will highlight the 4 C's that underpin NGPF curriculum and resources. The first is customizable. So we actually host all of our content, resources, curriculum on Google Docs, so you can go ahead and make your own copy, customize to your heart's content, to your students' needs. I'll go ahead and give an example of that in just a bit. A lot of teachers reached out at first when when Tim was creating curriculum and said that they struggle with PDFs and how they couldn't edit them. And sometimes they were outdated. So having our resources in Google Docs allows us to make those updates. The next is curated. So like I already mentioned previously, there were already so many great resources out there. Our aim really here is to give you educators back your time by reviewing resources such as articles, videos, simulations, all those internet games out there that are already readily available, and hosting the ones we believe are valuable, accurate, engaging. comprehensive. So whether you're looking for a more supplementary resource to a more full-length resource for your class, we have everything from activities and projects to individual lesson plans, a full semester course. There's a little something for everyone. We cover a variety of topics ranging from budgeting to investing to paying for college. I will show you all those resources in just a bit when we go and explore our website. And last but not least, current. We actually don't have a physical textbook, which means we can update our resources in real time. As I was alluding to earlier, with our Google Docs on our end, we can go ahead and make those changes. So whether it's a tax change or health insurance policy change, we have that ability on our end to go into that document, make those necessary changes, and update it so that you're teaching your students the most accurate and current curriculum. So here's a little graphic of what the financial education landscape looks right now. Everything from Acorns to Change Ed to Learn Best in Venmo. These are the type of financial education apps and online banking apps that your students will encounter. And so we just hope that our curriculum prepares them for that. And our curriculum, as well as our professional development, is free. Our founder did not want to put up a paywall for information this important. He likes to say that he was an entrepreneur in a former life, and from his successes, he was able to set up an endowment to keep funding us and help support you, the teachers, in your educational endeavors. Like I mentioned previously, we had this goal in mind to become this one-stop shop. And so in receiving this very nice quote from a teacher who reiterated what we were thinking, we were just very grateful to know that we had succeeded in becoming that one-stop shop for that teacher. And we hope we can do that for you as well. Here's an example, or here's actually our graph of where teachers use us currently. The darker states is where we are used most heavily. And in an in-house study, we discovered that our curriculum is used in over 4,000 districts and over 7,000 schools nationwide. A little bit about our curriculum. Like I mentioned, we offer everything from more supplemental resources to more full-length resources. So whether you're looking for an interactive, a bell ringer, you're trying to introduce math into your curriculum. We also have full semester course, and I will go over most of these, as many as I can. Once we get onto our website, anything in orange, as you can see, we have added last school year, so that would be 2017, 2018. And anything in the light blue, so our investing game is coming this fall, so keep your eyes peeled for that. In terms of professional development, we offer many monthly webinars. This is one of a handful that has been offered in August. We also have a great private Facebook page called Finlit Fanatics. If you'd like to join that, feel free to, and I will prove you right after this webinar. It's just a chance for educators like yourselves to, interact with other like-minded teachers. We're trying to build a community of personal finance, business, economics, mathematics, teachers, family and consumer science, you name it. We can share your resources, share what you do in class, really get those connections across the US, because we know that sometimes you may be the only teacher teaching personal finance or something related to that in maybe your school, maybe your district. And so it just gives another opportunity for you to connect with other teachers around the US. In terms of conferences, in addition to attending national and state conferences, we just finished hosting our NGPF Summer Institute. So now we have our next round of NGPF fellows. Our Fin Camp is a one-day PD workshop that focuses on getting to know our curriculum more, as well as role-playing some of our curriculum to see how it would pan out in your class. And a Fin Camp Plus is just like a Fin Camp, but 3 days long. And as you can see here, we also have virtual Fin Camps coming up. So keep your eyes out for that. And here's our mission, and we hope you'll join us in educating the next generation. With that being said, let's explore the website. I have it open right here in this tab. And so as you can see, this is what our homepage looks like. We have in this section games that we've created. Our new product releases will always be here. There will always be a different question of the day, and you will get to see our upcoming events. Looking at the tabs here, I'll go over each one by one and then take a deep dive into all of them. So in terms of curriculum, we have our units, which I will show you now. Like I said, we offer 11 full units and an additional bonus unit right here. So feel free to take a look. All of these units, if you click on one, so I'll click on the bonus one here, it will give you the lessons on the left side, as well as activities, projects, number chugs, questions of the day, and case studies on the right-hand side. So I picked bonus because I like to show our new users that we also, in addition to our personal finance units, we also have lessons on entrepreneurship, ethics, philanthropy, purchasing a used car, etc. Like I mentioned, we do have a full semester course. So for those of you who do teach personal finance for a semester or are changing into a semester system, we do have a whole semester course for you to teach. So here I've gone in, click that. And your students can actually do the same. They can go, as you can see, I'm not signed in right now. They can go ahead, if you assign them on any piece of curriculum like I've just pressed, they can go ahead and make a copy themselves. They do not need an account of their own. Like I mentioned, once you're signed in, you can go ahead, file, make a copy. It will actually create a copy, and you can go ahead and place it in whatever folder you liked for it to be in, and you can edit that to your heart's content. So whether you're looking to shorten up this course map, maybe take this part out or replace it with something else, you can definitely do that. In addition to our full semester course, last school year we rolled out with an 8-week course for teachers who asked us to create a shorter version of our full curriculum, just so their students could get a taste of personal finance. Maybe you run a weekend workshop for students, and we have an 18-hour workshop as well as an 8-hour workshop. Last year, we also rolled out with our middle school resources. What's awesome about our middle school resources is that they're not just for middle school teachers or for middle school students. We had a lot of high school teachers actually reach out to us and say how much they liked the middle school resources. They would take one and use it for their high school class as sort of a stepping stone into our full curriculum. All right, so now we're getting into more of our supplementary resources. We have a lot of questions in terms of what's the difference between our activities and projects. And so our activities are more of an opportunity for students to practice and implement what they've learned in a lesson, whereas a project is more open-ended. So here, let's take a look at these. In terms of activities, we have over 140 activities. This is always a fun one that students really enjoy. Interactive think you can beat the stock market. So students will play the interactive and fill out this information here. And at the end, there are always reflection questions. So to get them to understand what they've learned, as well as, make sure you know that they learned something. Let's take a look at one of our activities. Maybe one of our paying for college activities here. Payback. So we actually rolled out with this game about a year ago. So students play Payback. And what it does is it takes them through the years of college from freshman all the way to senior year. And they get to make decisions and balance their academics, their social life, and be mindful of their student debt as well. So there is one of our activities. And our questions of the day. So we had teachers ask us if we could create bell ringers on their behalf. So we did. We actually have over 200 questions of the day as of now. And so here I'll go ahead and click one and show you the format, as all of our questions of the day follow this one format. It's FAFSA season, so let's click this. How much free financial aid is lost because families do not file the FAFSA? Like I mentioned, we have a standardized format here for all of our questions of the day. So the first slide will always have the question. The second slide will have the answer, as well as the link to the source that we got that answer from. And the third slide will have comprehension questions. So these take about 5 to 10 minutes each. They're great for introducing a new concept in class or maybe closing out with a fun fact. Like I mentioned, with the semester course curriculum, you can go ahead and file, make a copy. Maybe you want to change these questions or make them more specific or tailored towards your students. You are most definitely free to do that. Now, for those of you who are looking for games or simulations for your visual learners in class to reinforce personal finance concepts in a fun way, we actually do have an interactive library with over 80 interactives. And so all these interactives can be found online. We took the hard part of searching for them out of the equation. So now you can go ahead and maybe you want to search for a taxes interactive. Maybe you're looking for a budgeting or career interactive. We give you the details here. And here's like a quick link to the interactive. So you can go ahead and click that. And with the majority of our interactives, you'll see this little orange icon right here. If I click that, it will actually lead to the worksheet. And so the interactive library is great for maybe when you have a substitute teacher and you're looking for your students to still do something worthwhile in class besides watch a video. These are great, and the accompanying worksheet gives you a chance to see what they've learned from that day. We've had lots of teachers reach out to us about quiz games library, our quiz games. And so we noticed that there was an influx of teachers using Quizlets and Kahoots to teach or reinforce those units and get them prepared for those tests. And we had a lot of teachers creating their own. So we took that idea, ran with it, and we offer Quizlets, Kahoots, and quizzes for all of these lessons. We didn't want to stick with one, so we gave teachers 3 options. And so students themselves too can go ahead, look at them, review them, really get them ready for those unit tests. Some teachers like to use case studies. So if you're looking to use that in your classroom but couldn't find the support required to pull it off, we actually do have, as we can see here when this will load, a teacher support guide as well as a student support guide. We really want to make sure that the students and teachers were really prepared to take on case studies. And so we do have those support guides there if you're looking to try any of them out in your classroom. Our case studies, activities, and projects, if I forgot to mention earlier, are all in Spanish as well. So here's an example of what one of our case studies looks like. Last but not least, I'll show you one of our data crunches. And so teachers reached out wanting to improve their students' ability to look at data and tie it back to financial concepts. And other teachers wanted to incorporate more math or reinforce personal finance concepts with math. So we created data crunches for you. And they all follow a very similar format. So let me open one up and we can check that out. How do sales taxes compare among states? Again, this is one of those really great resources for when you maybe have a snow day and you still want to assign your student something, or if you have a substitute teacher that day. So all of our data crunches will actually have one graph right here, as well as 5 questions noted by the depth of knowledge levels 1 through 5. So 1 being a surface level question, they could easily understand it from the graph. 3 to 5, excuse me, 3 to 5 explaining, 3 to 5, so that would be something they would get from the graph, right? Or that would be something they would need to interpret from the graph. In terms of our community tab, our blog, as you can see as I clicked on it, is updated on a daily basis. If you'd like to subscribe to our blog, it's also where you can find our daily questions of the day, or bell ringers. You can go ahead and type your email in right here. Our podcasts feature educators, authors, lots of people in the education realm. We have this on a weekly basis. For all you teachers out there who are interested in learning more about your 403B plans, here's a great podcast by Steve Shulo. Like I mentioned previously, we did finish up our last 2 summer institutes. And so if you'd like to see who our most recent fellows are, you can go ahead and take a look there. Like I mentioned before, we do offer an array of webinars. Our PLCs will start again in just a couple of weeks, our professional learning communities. If you'd like to see what other teachers have submitted for their articles, you can go ahead and scroll to the bottom and you'll see all these examples here. And maybe use them in your classroom. So PLCs are awesome. They meet 2 times a week for half an hour each. Teachers get the chance to bring an artifact to the PLC and really communicate with each other about what can be changed, what's worth looking into, and at the end you will receive a PD certificate. Apologies for the slow loading. And so like I showed you on the first page, you will have a sneak peek of all the upcoming events, but if you would like to look at where we'll be in the next couple of weeks and months, feel free to go to our Teacher PD tab here, click on events. We're going to Texas and Philadelphia, Tennessee, we'll be in Virginia. And if you don't see your state here or you'd like for us to come to you, click this button right here and you'll be able to talk to Laura, who's our Director of Teacher Engagement, and we'll get that sorted out. Here's a map of where we've been in the year 2017, 2018, and we will update this in just a few months. If you're looking for advocacy tools, whether you're fighting for personal finance to be a requirement in your school or district or state, we also have our FinHero page right here. So we actually give you the tools here in our toolkit right here to approach maybe your school board, approach the district, and be a part of that good change. And so that's our website in a nutshell. As we wrap up here, after this webinar, you will receive your PD certificate as well as a link to a pop quiz. If you do actually take that pop quiz, you will be sent an Amazon gift card. Oh, I forgot to mention, in your follow-up email, you will also receive these slides if you'd like to refer back to them. So if you decide to sign up for a teacher account, you will receive access to assessments as well as answer keys, which are not actually housed on our website. So fill out this name here. It would be really helpful if you could use your school email address so we can verify that you're a teacher and send you those answer keys right away. Like I mentioned previously, feel free to join our FinLit Fanatics page, and we'll see you for PLC hopefully soon. Feel free to keep in touch by going to our website, interacting with us using our live chat function. Feel free to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We'll follow back. And if you want to join our community page, feel free to. It's called FinLit Fanatics. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My name is Danielle. So that would be Danielle@ngpf.org, or you could also reach out to Tim, who ran this webinar last week. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will stay on the line for a couple of minutes just in case there are any questions. All right, have a great rest of your afternoon. All right, it looks like there are no pending questions, so have a great rest of your afternoon. Feel free to reach out if you do think of anything. And thank you for joining me.